So good morning on this Monday. We have Tammy from Stater Brothers joining us to talk a little bit about Comp Laude and how she got involved and what we hope to achieve as an advisory board member. So good afternoon, Tammy.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today, Kristen?
I'm doing well, thanks. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about you and what you do for the industry.
Okay, well, first of all, my name is Tamara Ulufanua-Ciraulo, and I work for Stater Brothers Markets. I have been there for a little over 30 years and have served in multiple capacities. But currently what I do now, I'm the Senior Director of Insurance Administration, and that means I have the pleasure of one of my duties is overseeing the work comp division for Stater Brothers. And we have around 18,000 employees. So needless to say, having a robust return to work, understanding work comp, and of course the preventative piece of safety is extremely important for our business model. But it also has a powerful impact on the industry. You know, one of the things as an employer, we have to find that finite way to manage not just a workers' comp claim, but help an employee manage their life and manage their way through the process. Because one of the things I can tell everybody here is workers' comp is a foreign language to anybody who has to participate in the program. Any denial letter or acceptance letter, my goodness, it's a good thing I know what they are. I would be afraid of them when I read them or get them in the mail. So really, Kristen, what I'm here to do is help advocate for our employees and help make this system simpler and understandable. So that's what I really do for the industry.
Awesome. Well, that's really good, and I'm hoping that we can, continue doing that, especially with the Comp Laude event. Because I think it's scary. You're already scared that you have had an injury happen to you, and then to get these forms or not know what the next steps are is, scary. And even like you said, us that are involved in it.
No, completely. And, sometimes I'll have an employee call me and they're confused about the paperwork. And I'm never going to tell them I'm confused about the paperwork, because even if I am, I'm going to get the right answer for them or help them through the process. Too many times we look at a work comp injury as a claim number and not really as the person behind the claim number. And our goal here, and I'm sure the goal is across the industry, is that we take away that claim number mentality and really try to approach the best way possible to treat someone to actually keep them satisfied through the process.
So was 2018 the first year you attended the Comp Laude event?
It actually was. I attended the event, and I was actually fortunate enough to be an invited guest on one of the panels, and it was my first experience with the event, and I had went down to San Diego. And first of all, it's a really important event, and I was able to be, of course, on a panel that kind of talked about the facilitation of an employee's care. And I think that my bigger thoughts is not only does this affect, of course, the work comp industry, but from that risk perspective and helping all employers and all companies save money, we have just a much bigger platform from administration to operations to finance that we can have a major impact on a company and a company's well-being and health when it comes to, really that whole financial platform. So there's a bigger opportunity for each of us, even though this is that one pocket of workers' comp where our concentration is, but it's the tentacles, the linkage that we have to other places to save money that we really need to get that message delivered across all functions of a business model.
Gotcha. Okay, that's why I'm very happy you would join the advisory board to get the employer perspective, because I tend to focus on the injured workers perspective and we have them involved. But I think having your side and you be able to show, because David was about for both sides. He always would say that the two people workers' compensation was intended for was the injured worker and the employer. And so right. I'm glad that you bring in this insight that we tend to forget. So, So what was your favorite part of the event that you attended?
So honestly, Kristen, the best part about the event is, especially when you look from the employer perspective and of course the vendor model or any partners that we have, is that, and I guess that's the key word, is that it's how each of us as a partner, what role do we play in the system? How do those roles, how are they complementary? How do they benefit not just employers, but also employees? Because end of the day, when you're doing the right thing by your employees, I really do believe long-term you're not only saving money, but you're actually saving lives, which, let's be honest, if you're helping to save life or quality of life, there's a very good chance that you're doing the right thing so an employee doesn't have all these long-term, pain management, other illnesses that overtake their life. So I think we have to look at it from that holistic perspective that doing the right thing goes a long way. And I think that the more an employer and, of course, any of our vendor partners in the system do that and help support the employee, it's just more beneficial all the way around.
Yeah, I think that that's where we're really in sync in a lot of things, is remembering that it's not just a claim number, that there's humans that you're dealing with and you're affecting not only them, but their families. And that's why it's sometimes some people have said that I've talked to on the injured worker side is, just asked how am I doing, or really letting that person that they may be talking to, that's their only resource that they know of, remembering, having that compassion, humanizing a case.
No, I totally agree. Putting faces and names and stories behind incidences make it more real. And to be quite honest, it makes us better. All of us, by the time someone gets into the system, we've kind of, missed those thresholds of being able to prevent the injury, or, teaching the kind of behavior patterns, or even putting in safety measures that prevent things from occurring. So as organizations, we've already had a few failures, so we need to work really hard to eliminate those failures and really kind of pick up the pieces wherever they fall, and then get through the process as painless as possible. Because I know, each of us knows it can be really painful. So I'm not into that. So anything to make lives better is what it's about.
Awesome. And exactly why you're on the advisory board. So one question that I have for you that's not, it's going to be out of the left field, but how do you feel being nominated this year?
Oh, I'm always excited to be nominated. In fact, I actually didn't know I was nominated until somebody had sent me a congratulatory email. And I'm like, that's super exciting when something positive is happening in your life and you don't even know it's happening yet. Because sometimes, and I think this is almost every one of us who are involved in the comp industry, you're not really sure if people are looking at what kind of decisions or actions that you have that are having a positive impact. You hope that what you're doing is beneficial to everyone and that people recognize that, but sometimes you just don't know. So this was excellent reinforcement, and it is one of those reasons why you get up in the morning, because end of the day, it's not about us, it's about what we do and the legacy we leave behind. So I was very honored. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. So I was very excited when I saw that nomination come in. So last question. So being on the advisory board and, seeing the event and now being a part of the event, what do you hope that people take away from it?
Well, what I hope happens as being an advisory board member and really having some ability to influence the event, I'm hoping that each of us creates a stronger partnership that also includes our employees. I have seen some very positive things along the way, especially when employers are able to create relationships with clinics. Of course, you will always have the help of your third-party administrator. And I mean, there's just so many players in the game. And if we started treating everybody like they have a say or a right to help with the employee, I think that we can have just a very strong tantamount change in how workers' comp becomes a positive instead of a negative. A lot of times people do look at an injury or these illnesses as a negative, but a fact of life is they do occur and they need to be addressed. And we have an obligation. We have an obligation to all of our employees to A, keep them working, and B, be able to afford them an income or a way to support themselves when an injury or illness keeps them out of work. So if we all focus on the employee, which is huge, but each of us take responsibility for what our part is in that whole entire process, I think it will help. It really will help each of us, each member in that party.
Well, those are some phenomenal answers. And so Tammy and I hope that you join us September 23rd through the 25th in Huntington Beach at the Paseo Hotel and Spa. And it's just going to be a great time. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, it's going to be an awesome time, and we look forward to seeing everybody. And don't forget to stop by and say hi.
Thanks, Tammy.